Good morning, AO Tribe. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm sure everybody's busy getting ready for Christmas. That's coming up next week. So we've got a lot of stuff to go over here. I think I'm live. I don't know. Every time I do these live sessions, something different happens. I get some kind of pop ups and whatever. So hopefully you guys are getting this. My name is Shelley Merrell. I'm here to do a live session. I have a rather large list of questions, which is always really fun. Um, I'm here to just basically give my experience, what I've seen in the past, and help you guys out. So hopefully I can help here. So my first question is, excuse me, I'm stuffed up, so sorry about that. My first question is from Carrington Crothers. Hi, Carrington. What are the ways or key points when organizing, prepping for the upcoming year? Her business background is I run a commercial photography business focusing primarily on product photography. Most of my journey, I have just been going with no clear plan or action, winging it, so to speak. Throughout my AO journey thus far, I'm getting more organized with vision, plan, goals, etc. What are key areas to focus on when prepping for the new year to set yourself up to go in strong? This is a really great question, and I'm so glad you're here in AO and getting organized and you know preparing for a great future. So what I do, or what I would do if I was in your position, is I would kind of go through and determine which reports seem to give you the best kind of information that you're looking for so that you can be tracking things throughout the year, whether it's your sales, your number of customers, um, your net profit. I'm not sure what accounting system you're using, but if you happen to be using QuickBooks and if you're recording your expenses properly, they have so many reports in there that you can really get detailed information that you can be tracking throughout the year to keep up with on that. One of the things I would do, and what I have done from past bad experiences, is I've created monthly checklists of things that I need to do. There's a lot of repetitive things that we need to do as business owners to maintain our company, like I don't know, like balancing the checkbook or something like that. I actually have those repetitive things set on a checklist that comes up as a reminder in my Outlook so that I don't forget to do them and I stay on task and keep that going. So I have an entire checklist I use every month. It's got daily, monthly, yearly items that I need to take care of. One thing that I would recommend for growth is planning a couple of hours or maybe one day a week where it's just focusing on those sales calls, getting those sales calls out there, getting your information out to the public. Um, that's something that for your future growth is going to be really, really important to be, just out there and getting your name out there. You could also think about a virtual assistant, possibly. I think you're on your own. Um, so it may be that having a virtual assistant or somebody who actually comes in as an employee to do those repetitive things and the stuff that you really don't need to be doing could help a lot. And then goal setting. We talk a lot in AO about goal setting, and it is important to have your daily, monthly, yearly goals, quarterly goals. Um, every time you have a goal, what I've learned is that you should really put a date on it, date your goal so that you can be progressing and keep track of yourself and holding yourself accountable. So those are my recommendations. Excuse me, sorry. We've had some crazy weather here lately, and today it's like 39, which is so weird for us. So I don't know, whatever. I'm just checking right here. I don't see any. Oh, there they are. See, they put the comments on the other side of the page. Hi, Shirley. I see you now. It used to be that they'd show up on that side. Now they're showing up on this side. So, anyway. Okay, so my next question is from Rosalie. Hi, Rosalie. I'm loving all the stuff you're putting out, by the way. She asked, what is the best way to introduce policy changes and retainer increases to existing clients? Background is I'm an accounting firm. I've been very flexible and have helped clients apply for loans, grants at no additional cost to them, going above and beyond for clients, and would like to get compensated accordingly. I want to implement these changes without too much backlash. Um, Rosalie, if I were you, I know it's easy for us to want to avoid backlash, but if there's going to be backlash, like, it's okay. You're never going to make everybody happy all the time. So I would just set that aside. Um, One way to get word out that your prices are increasing, and what I've seen a lot of my vendors doing, is they actually will have a little note at the bottom of their email saying, as of this date, um, our prices are increasing, and some of them actually specify what they're increasing, whether it's 10%, 20%. Um, or if you already have an email system set up where you can do a mass emailer, I what my accountant does actually is he'll send me the current price list of what each person what their hourly rate is, and then I have to sign it saying that I acknowledge that price increase and send it back to them. So that's what they do to me. But yeah, I absolutely think you should be compensated for your time, definitely. And it could even be that if somebody that is a current client asks that you help them apply for a loan or writing a grant, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and give them a separate estimate. Kind of calculate what you think the hours will be, and give them an estimate that they then sign and treat it as a completely separate transaction. Um, that way you could actually then start tracking your those services. I'm just sorry, I'm thinking out loud. If you're using QuickBooks, you could even set those up as items in your item list, and then you'd be able to track at the end of the year how many loans did I help apply for, how many grants did I write. Like, that would give you more information for the future. Sorry, I just started like thinking out loud. So those are my suggestions. I recommend just include it on the email or send them a mass mailing with your new rates. Have them sign it to acknowledge, send it back, and don't do any work for them until you've received it back. That way everybody's on the same page, and that's always good. I hope that helps. Kristen Pitts. Hi, Kristen. Her question is, as the daughter of a family-based business that my dad built, what are the best ways to get meaningful conversations with my father as I look to take on more responsibility? Background: I work with my dad in his company for 4 months now as his COO and partner. Everything was great in the beginning. He went from overly impressed by the small changes I've made and my overall work to now disrespecting me, belittling me, and trying to find things to be upset with me about. It feels like he wants me to fail and is always contradicting what he says. I don't know what to do. Kristen, I actually see this with my husband and my son. Um, so what I try to tell my son about. Sorry, we got a fire truck going by. We always have shit going on in this area, so I never know what's going to happen here. Um, the thing is, when somebody builds a company and they've developed it a certain way and they treat it like their baby, what ends up happening when anybody comes in and makes changes is ego gets in the way. Um, so, what I have suggested with my son when he faces this issue, is I basically, it, it's always a good idea to kind of stroke their ego a little bit. Um, Make comments about the foundation or what a great business, or acknowledge the work he's done in the past. He may be feeling like, okay, my daughter's here now, she's making all these changes, I wasn't doing it right from the beginning, and may subconsciously be putting up like a defensive block. I'm not sure. But it's always good to have open communication. And so, especially with your dad, you don't want to have negative stuff going on. So maybe you could go to lunch, have a direct conversation with them, a very nice, pleasant conversation to keep the defenses from going up, and talk about the what you guys can do together, and stroke his ego, because he did put in all that time and energy into building that company. And um, a lot of times they just need to hear that. I hope that helps. That's not an easy situation. I know it's not. Feel free to reach out and vent anytime you want. I deal with a lot of personality issues and hurt feelings and all kinds of stuff here. So I'm always open to you venting to me, and I could give you maybe an experience or something like that. But just have that conversation, keep it light, keep it happy. Express that you want to be a team member with him. Let him know he's disrespecting you, but in a very positive way. There's nothing wrong with that. So um, keep us posted. These interactions, these interpersonal interactions, are always challenging. So I like to see those. So definitely keep us posted on that, Kristen. Okay. My next question. Oh, another question from Kristen. What sources are best to use to find people to hire? I need to hire a couple of part-time staff. I used to use Indeed years ago, but it seems to be the new Craigslist, very scammy. Looking for in-person staff at our warehouse to do entry-level work. Thank you. Um, when I have this situation, I always use a temp agency. As a matter of fact, they brought me a big platter of cookies yesterday, because we have such a great relationship. But using a temp agency is a there's pros and cons to that. The con is that you pay a higher fee than what you would be paying, because they're covering the workers' comp, they're covering the administration. So there is a fee on top of that hourly rate. The pro to that, though, is when you use a temp agency, if you don't like somebody, all you have to do is tell the temp agency, hey, this person isn't the right person. and they no longer show up and you have no liability. That's the great thing about that, is because you can go through multiple people until you find the right person that kind of like aligns with your core values and the right personality, the right fit. Because it is sometimes hard to find the right fit. It's usually hard to find the right fit. Um, so I would recommend a temp agency. I'm also hearing good things about ZipRecruiter if you want to do the hiring yourself. But to me, for this type of position, I would go through my temp agency because they do all of the vetting. There's so much involved in that, and it's worth it to me to pay that fee. Check with them though and see whatever temp agency you use. Check and see what their terms are. Sorry, I lost the word right there. Check and see what their terms are, because like with mine, if I have that person employed for 3 months, then I can hire them without any like repercussions or anything. They can become permanent, and then I take them on my payroll, my insurance, all that. But it's a great way to find the right people without being obligated. And I'm here in California, so our laws are definitely geared towards the employee. And if somebody doesn't work out, every single time that happens, it's a risk for some kind of litigation. So I prefer using a tip agency just to keep all the drama and stuff in the background. I hope that helps. Okay, my next question is Andy Ramos. How do I best approach talking to a manager in my company about their need to practice healthier communication whenever they communicate with their employees? Background: I am corporate support for a company called Natural Life. We offer a wide variety of wellness items and consider ourselves a wellness center. In fact, core value number 6 for us is wellness. We promise to use quality products and friendly service to promote a better quality of life for all. This sentence says for all, and I firmly believe that this friendly service should always be exercised from our employees to our customers, but also between managers and their employees as well. It is beneficial for us all to offer a healthy work environment, as an unhealthy one always creates a slew of problems, and we believe a big key to that is healthy communication. I want to talk with one of my managers because I want to keep them on board, but I have heard more than once that this person can really come off wrong when communicating with their employees. This kind of stuff slowly but surely creates a tense work environment, which indirectly will affect sales, as we have seen before. I want to make sure I don't come off wrong first and start a bad chain reaction, since we really want to keep this employee. How should I best approach them? Should I just fire them? Help. Okay, Andy. So, being in business, we're always going to have to face some difficult conversations. That's just the way it is. That's anytime you have more than one human being, there's potential for conflict. So, in this particular situation, what I would do is maybe do, but if you have a meeting that all of your managers attend, I don't know how many managers you have, but if you have a meeting where it's basically management staff, I would address that there, not to that person directly, but I would reiterate your core value number 6. Yeah, I would reiterate exactly what it says. I would stress that not aligning with the core values could potentially jeopardize your job. I would reiterate that it's a team and that teamwork includes their subordinates, um, and that by being a manager, it's not their it's their job to be support for their um, direct reports, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right words. Um, that's that's what I would do. I would first address that with your staff. I don't know if you've got like a Christmas thing coming up or whatever. I'd go over all of your core values again, and then the following week or so, I'd let a couple days go by, and then I would schedule a meeting with that manager and um, reiterate that. I'm trying to think how I would word it. Um, Basically, I would reiterate the fact that you just talked about those core values and that anybody not aligning with those core values um, m- may have to be terminated. And just wondering, one of my UCLA professors just told us this really great story, and it was focused on rowing. Rowing team where they've got like I don't know anything about rowing, but like 8 or 10 people, and everybody has to be doing their job in order for that to work out and for them to move ahead. They can actually have really bad accidents. So I didn't know that. Again, I know nothing about rowing. Um, they can have really bad accidents if not everybody does the right thing. And he kind of did this story about, yeah, if you're rowing along, everything's going good. But if one of those starts drilling a hole in your boat, you're gonna go, hey, wait a minute. Why are you trying to sink our boat? Like you're putting me in jeopardy. Um, and can actually stop that, and it's not a bad thing to that person, but they they need to be part of the team in order to not sink the ship, if or sink the boat, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying it right. I get it. I have a hard time finding my words all the time, so sorry about that. But I think you probably get the gist of what I'm trying to say. You could somehow come up with an analogy like that. Like, you're going to call people out when they're jeopardizing your team. And, if you were in a boat working together, you don't want to sink that ship. I hope that helps. One other thing I was thinking of when I read this is I don't know how your company is set up, but if like each manager has, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 people under them, I'm wondering if you guys ever do team building. We have certain days where we'll do a fun activity, and it's on Teams. But what would be really great is if, uh, say, you've got a manager of production, and then the production employees, and you've got a manager of scheduling, and he's got his employees, and then you guys could they would be their own team, and then they could compete against the other um, sets of managers with employees, and that would force them to like work together as a team. Maybe, I don't know, it's just a suggestion. But I'll be interested to hear how you end up handling that. But just keep in mind, those difficult conversations are going to be part of life. It there's no way around it. Um, Hopefully that helps, and keep us posted on how that goes. Oh, and what I also wanted to say is, a lot of times we as employers think that certain employees are too valuable to replace, and you don't want to do that. And I've actually been in that situation before. 9 times out of 10, if you end up firing that person, letting them go, freeing up their future, as Sean would say, um, it it actually works out better. um, Having even one person in the environment that's creating kind of a toxic atmosphere, it affects everybody. And most of the time, when that person is gone, no matter how valuable they were in other parts of the business, your productivity will increase after you've gotten rid of that person because everybody's so relieved that that person is gone. And that could be the case here. So, yes, you want to try to keep them. I get that. But at the same time, don't be afraid to let them go. Don't be afraid to free up their future because you've got to protect your environment. So, hopefully that helps. All right. My next question is from Monica Wilson. She asked, what should I focus on first when starting a transportation business? Background. At the present time, I am looking for direction to effectively begin my entrepreneurship journey. I am starting a non-emergency transportation business in North Carolina. This transportation service will be offered to patients and healthcare consumers who face extraordinary barriers getting to and from their medical appointments. That's awesome. That's a great thing to do and helping out other people. Um, I don't know anything about a transportation business, but if I were to guess and imagine myself in that position, I would first want to make sure I know all the licensing requirements in my state. Make sure that is, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed for your licensing. I'm sure there's got to be some kind of licensing involved in that. And then I would try to plan where are the best places to target, to target like advertising or talking to people or whatever. It may be even like the urgent cares. Go around to the urgent cares. They could let their regulars know that, hey, there is a service that will get you here. Also, I am a fan of joining your Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce, most chambers of commerce, have a lot of great networking events and stuff like that. It tends to be a lot of the admin people, which are, I would imagine, would be the people that you would want to connect up with. Of course, there's LinkedIn. Um, Begin my entrepreneurship journey. Yeah, for beginning your entrepreneurship journey, it's that licensing. Make sure your licensing is correct, and then from there, um, maybe go along. Do the stuff I suggested. Um, it'll be cool to watch this grow though, because it's great that you're offering that kind of help to people. I hope that helps. I'm not sure if it did or not, but anyway, um, I'm here if you want to reach out and give me more details. I can give you my what I would do if I did that, but I'm not a transportation person. Okay, the next question is from Kyle Elder. When hiring, how do I determine if I should pay salary versus hourly? Description of businesses: I have a small athletic training facility, working at previous gyms and hiring trainers at previous gyms. I've come to find it is tough to keep people who are good at what they do around long enough to build a team when they are getting a few hours here and there at the beginning. Would supplementing their pay with front desk, cleaning, etc. be the way to keep them? What are the pros and cons to salary versus hourly structure? Okay, so I'm not sure what state you're in, but I can speak for California. In California, uh, salary versus hourly is a big issue. Um, in California, you can't be salary unless you have two people under you that you are managing. Um, you can be called salary, you can call it that, but you still have to pay overtime and those types of things. Um, a normal salary person, a typical salary person, manages more than two people, and they are exempt from overtime. That's the main difference I know of between salary and hourly, is that one gets paid overtime, one doesn't get paid overtime. They get paid their 40 hours no matter if they put in 20 hours or 60 hours. They get paid the same amount every week. It's really important to check your state laws on this, because I know in California this is huge and people get sued all the time over um, putting somebody on salary and thinking that they're exempt when they're really not, because they're not managing two people underneath them. So definitely look into that. I hope that helps. And as far as keeping them busy, Um, yeah. I mean, if they can do some stuff that then you don't have to end up doing and you can afford to pay them, then I highly recommend that. You could have it as part of the job description and part of your standard operating process, that, when you don't have a client in their training right now, you could have a checklist set up of the things that they could go through and do, that might be something that ends up being taken off your plate, and that'd be awesome. In on that too, though, and you'll hear later in this that I am a big fan of doing training videos. So kind of walking through how you would do something. Say for instance, um, well, an accounting person, like I would do a video telling them step by step how I want them to do a particular thing. And then that takes away the repetitive questions and the chance of me not sticking to what I had originally said, because I'm a wing it kind of person. So um, those are some things that could help. But anyway, all right, the next one is Eric Blandino. Hi, Eric. I hope you're doing well. What are great ideas to recognize team members for their work and also incentivize them to go above and beyond for the business when needed? Background: we are rat exclusion service in the business of giving people their homes back from the invasion of rats. Our field techs do the work, clock in and clock out. We have given gift cards, certificates of acknowledgement, and even plane tickets. None of these seem to be appreciated or motivating enough for them to do great work or go above and beyond for our clients and business when needed. Elevator pitch: rat exclusion service offers poison-free solution to rat and mice problems. We figure out the entry points of rats and mice into your home or structure, seal them out, and guarantee our work for 2 years. Um, well, what you've already been doing with your employees typically would be things that I would recommend. Um, I'm not sure how you can motivate somebody. They either are motivated or they're not. They're either customer service driven or they're not. Doing those types of things, like doing the gift card, the certificate of acknowledgement, and a plane ticket, like those are all great things. That would incentivize me. What I was thinking might be cool is maybe doing employee of the month and having a plaque, and you could judge this. I can't remember if you're sending out, are you sending out surveys to your customers and getting feedback on your technician service? If you are, that would be a KPI that um, you could say, like when the technician's there, they could tell the customer to, hey, you're going to get a survey from my company. I'd really appreciate it if you'd respond back, that type of thing. And then base it on the surveys that you're getting back. And then the person who gets the most positive responses or the most responses, could end up being employee of the month with a plaque on the wall and their picture. Those kind of validation things do help. But there are times when people just, I don't know, there's something weird going on in the generations or today's times, or I don't know what it is, but it's getting more and more difficult to get people to be excited and to promote your business and stuff. So I'm not sure if that would help, but it's something that I would try, and I have tried in the past, and it did help. Um, but most people with like money and stuff, I forget the survey, but somebody, a college or somebody, did a survey about what employees value the most. Money was and is always, whenever the survey is done, is at the bottom of the list. At the top of the list is that validation and feeling like they've been heard or have been a part of the business and helping and that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how, if that helps or if anything helps. Eric, you're very familiar with me, so as you know, I like doing those fun team building exercises, like going and having lunch and then just doing a fun game where everybody gets to laugh and spend time together. That's not work hour time. Um, so those are some things that I would recommend that might help. I know our employee of the month is actually a plaque we had made at a trophy store. We take a quick Polaroid picture of that person, put it in. We it doesn't cost much to get the little an engraved nameplate, and we'll change it every quarter. So they seem to like that. So that's an idea. We'll see. Good luck. Okay, Sherry Dong. Should my extra money go to savings or debt? Background is I currently do not have a business and work in corporate America with one second job and go to school. I did that schedule once upon a time too. It's grueling, but so worth it. Um, Congratulations on doing all that. I do currently have debt and am trying to improve cash flowing school as much as I can. I will have to borrow to cover next semester. I am curious, where should my focus be with any extra funds? I do know of the Dave Ramsey baby steps. Should I be following those steps? Um, I am not familiar with the Dave Ramsey baby steps. I've heard of them, but I don't know them myself. But my recommendation, and from my experience, I would recommend any money that you make, you take a certain set percentage and it goes into savings first. Treat that like a bill, like, something that you've paid and you can't get back. That's what helps me the most, is by making that my first priority. It might only be 10%. It might only be 5%, something. Then definitely focus any additional cash that's paying yourself first, basically, Definitely put that on your debt, because who wants to pay all the interest rates? And if with everything that's going on in the world today, we are fully expecting for interest rates to start rising. So that's always an issue. But saving a certain amount first is going to help somebody, me, this is what I do. It gives me that safety cushion where I know that if I need it, it's there. I don't ever want to use it, the savings, but it's there in case of an emergency. So that is something I recommend, and this from somebody who's been through a lot of credit card debt and paying it off and setting those goals and getting them straight. At one point, I had zero cash and so much debt. And it was very stressful, like very stressful. And so I made a promise to myself that I will always tuck some cash away so that I never have to have that feeling again. And I do that, and I'm consistent. And it took a lot of self control, but I'm almost completely debt free. I have savings, and it was a long road, but so worth it. It feels so much better. So hopefully that helps. I will always recommend paying yourself first. Okay. Next question is Joshua Grant. How do I need to go about setting up a system to hire and develop a new team member? Background: I am a welding and fabrication business. We specialize in handrails, but have been getting a lot of other custom job shop work. Too bad, well, I don't know where you're at, but too bad you're not close to me, because I want my staircase remodeled like today. Um, Sorry, I had to interject. I have two other people on the team, and the workload is starting to overload us. Where I live, it is getting difficult to find skilled workers. I am more than willing to teach people that want to be a part of my team. I just want to do it in a way that is confident. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with this. This is great. Um, it's not just you. You are not alone. Across the nation, and it may even be the entire world, right now seems to be having great difficulty finding skilled workers. Um, I have that problem. Everybody I talk to has that problem. So you are not alone. But what you can do is, let's see, you want to hire and developing a new team member. Okay, so I recently went through a whole process with Marsha O'Connor's group, and we ended up implementing Bamboo HR, which I highly recommend. It's a software, it's not that expensive. It kind of gets all of that first day mushy stuff, employee manual, gets all that out of the way for you so you're not dealing with that. Then, um, it is important to have your SOP, or standard operating procedures, preferably written up and like in a binder. However, um, and again, I'm going to reiterate, I am a big fan of creating training videos where you talk through your SOP so that it is explained exactly how you want things done, exactly, whether it's training them on how to weld a certain fitting or whatever. I highly recommend having those. What it does is it reduces the amount of questions they have, and it reduces the amount of error of interpretation, because when somebody's sitting there reading something, they're not always interpreting it exactly the same way as you meant it. And that's been a big thing. Um, I got distracted because I would love to learn how to weld and all that. I want to learn how to do woodworking and welding and all that good stuff. So, um, as far as finding uh, skilled workers, um, and man, it's really tough. It's tough for people right now. I struggle with this nonstop. Finding license, we have to, where I'm at in my business, fire protection, they have a relatively new licensing system that went into place like 4 years ago, and a lot of people ended up getting left out of getting their license through their grandfather period, and so it's been a nightmare. And I'm consistently trying to talk the state fire marshal's office into opening back up the grandfather period, um, because our labor pools have shrank, and it's just a problem. You definitely want to be cognizant of the workload of the employees that are there, definitely. um, One of the things I've done with my employees, and it hasn't panned out yet, but it's an idea, is I've told them, if you find somebody that you would like to work with, you think they'd be a great employee, and you refer them to us and we hire them and they make it through their probation period, I'll give you $500 cash. Like, that's been a great thing. And I know those welding and fab workers, that's a small industry in towns. They tend to know each other. So maybe that might help you to find somebody who could come in and help alleviate that workload. But I highly recommend making sure to acknowledge those employees that you do have, because it is so important right now to keep our talent like happy so they don't leave. That'd be that it's even worse when somebody leaves, and on top of not being able to find the skilled people. So good luck with that. Those are some ideas. I hope that helps. I think I knew what you were asking, but if I read it wrong or interpreted it wrong, let me know. Send me a message, and I'll revisit it. Okay, so how many more do I have? This is by far my longest session. Like, I'm at 47 minutes. That's okay. I didn't have one last month because people weren't asking questions. So I'm glad you guys are asking questions, and keep going. All of us mentors will be on here, like, giving our opinions on all of them. So ask away. Okay, so my next one is Jenny Dawson. Question is, how do I plan ahead of time to be sure to not fall into the trap of having a, a full-time job within my business long term? That's a great question because it happens all the time. Okay, so her background is, today marks 1 month as a full-time entrepreneur focused on growing my yin yoga and sound healing business. Woohoo! I cheer for you. Woohoo! I've been developing Zen Soul Balance as a side project since 2017, and now I'm ready to level up. Currently, I'm running the business solo and have 2 contractors that I use for assistance when necessary. I am establishing new strategic partnerships with a variety of businesses and organizations. As a niche yoga instructor specializing in yin and sound meditation, it is important that I, Jenny Dawson, as the teacher, lays the foundation of these programs within each organization, while simultaneously building the community and growing class attendance. These are corporate wellness facilities, hotels, and yoga studios that I'm partnering with in this initial phase of growth. Another important task in this phase of my entrepreneurial journey, you know what I mean, entrepreneur, never mind, I give up, is to book enough business to pay my bills. And gratefully, I have succeeded in filling up my calendar with new work for the first quarter 2022. That's awesome. Congratulations. The challenge I foresee is that I will be spending long hours executing classes and working in my business instead of on my business. And I do not want I do not want to fall into the trap of having a full-time job within my business long term. I hope to soon have enough time to also grow the business via my Shopify stores and Vimeo video library for online yoga classes, props, and instruments for sale. How do I plan ahead for hiring financials and time management to ensure there is enough time to grow my business and I don't get stuck creating a full-time job that requires me to be present for every class? I am actively talking with other yoga teachers who have attended my trainings, and I am planning to recruit them to help as business grows. However, I do not have enough work to employ them at this time. So, how do you suggest recruiting teachers on standby? What suggestions do you have for me as I'm in the development phase, but also thinking ahead for expansion of my business? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you all. You rock. Well, you rock too, Jenny. Okay, so that's, most of us have fallen into that trap of working in our business instead of on our business. So it's really great that you're aware of it this early on in your entrepreneurial journey. I don't know why I can't say that. Um, Couple things you could do, and it all depends on what funds you have available. So, um, one of the things that we talk about a lot in AO is having a virtual assistant. Are there things that you could go ahead and pay a virtual assistant to do that are repetitive or easy to do, just a distraction, anything like that, that you could then give to your virtual assistant to take care of? And that would free up that time. Then on top of it, you did mention you've got a Vimeo video library. Um, if I were you, I don't know what videos you already have, but I would definitely have a set of yoga teacher training videos, so that you can express how you want um, the name, the brand that you're creating to be portrayed during classes, like however, whatever specific things you want to be known for, I would make sure that's very clear to the teachers. And then, um, I don't know if it's the same for you, but around here, all the yoga teachers that I know of tend to be um, not set schedule type of people anyway. So that, and I'm stereotyping. I don't want to offend anybody. So that is a stereotype. I found that with dance as well. That they can be kind of flighty and do whatever. But among all of your teachers, there may be several of them, possibly, who only want to do this part time. So I would definitely work on getting a list together of those teachers who are willing to be almost like a substitute teacher, like in the school system when they have substitute teachers. I don't know how that works. Maybe regular teachers or a school administrator that could tell you how they go about doing that and then set up a similar process for that. Um, but you may find that a lot of them would be happy to be on that list, and hopefully that is the case. Um, that way, you're not paying for somebody to just like sit around or do nothing. But those are some ideas. Another idea I had, aside from having a virtual assistant helping you out, is time blocking. Time blocking is a really great way to you actually like can set a timer, and from this time to this time you're going to work on just this that is something significant to working on your business instead of in your business, and you just set that time. You set it as a schedule just like you would set a class schedule, because those things are so important as well, that you got to give it that kind of priority as well. And that will help keep you from getting caught up in the day to day just teaching classes. And I know exactly what you're talking about, because it definitely could turn into a cycle. And I could see that happening. So those are a few things I would do. So again, I'll just reiterate, uh, the possibility of having a virtual assistant take care of your repetitive stuff, and time blocking to make sure that you are addressing the things you need to address, creating the standard operating procedures with videos that explain to the teachers how you want the classes run and whatnot. Those are all key things to help you try to protect your time and your peace. I hope that helps. Wait, okay. Okay. My next question is from Ricardo Delgado. What things can I do to continue to develop as a leader so my team follows our processes and I get the buy-in from them so we can grow and add more people? Okay, the background. I own a barbershop and my systems are not the smoothest. I have two barbers and me, and one of them isn't using the online platform we provide. I want everyone to be on the same page. I admit I made the mistake by hiring anyone and allowing direct numbers to customers, but now I see this isn't working. I'm still hiring and I need to follow the same system straightforward with everybody. I need help knowing how to set things up so I start people the same way and train them the same way. Okay, so uh, some of this stuff is actually answered in some previous things that I said, but I'll go ahead and reiterate. Okay, it sounds like you don't have a standard operating procedure at all. So going back to the very, very basics, I would sit somewhere quiet and think of all the different things that you feel are important, to get somebody started up. Okay, I tend to use a sticky note. I'll put one idea on each sticky note. I throw them up on the wall, and then I organize them. I just go through and put them in the right order I want them in. That would help you start creating your standard operating procedures. Okay, your standard operating procedures is going to be multiple pages, Word document. You can do it any format you want. It's typically printed out and in a binder and given to every employee that needs to have that information. But then also, again, creating videos and talking through those things so that it reduces problems with interpretation. It reduces questions. They can always go back and look. It's quick. People don't always have the time to sit and read something. And even if they do sit and read it, interpretation is different for everybody. It's so subjective. Even if you had it step by step, somebody is always going to say, oh, well, I read it this way. No, if you have a video, then they can go back to that. They can see it. There's no question on how you want to do that. Then it's up to you as the leader to then follow that process every time. Getting those core values into place will be very helpful. I'm sure you've heard tons about the core values. There's a bunch of stuff in the portal resource center. Getting those core values in place is crucial, because it's actually your bad guy. You don't have to be the bad guy. If somebody is not following the process and aligned with those core values, then when you write them up, you can blame it on the core values. Hey, this doesn't go with our core values. I'm sorry, I have to address it. And you don't be afraid to let somebody go. If this person, and I think I've talked to you before about this, if this person is continuing to be a problem, other employees will see that and it spreads. And if that person uh, is disrespecting you or anything like that, they see that and then they think that's okay. It's kind of like parenting. Unfortunately, there's a lot of parenting that goes on in handling employees, and it's not fun, and we are not perfect, and we make our mistakes, and we learn from them. So basically, getting the buy-in, if they see that you have a structure in place that is written, that is on video, that you can then write people up based on that, they will start having either buy in or buy out. They will leave. And that's not such a bad thing either. Sometimes we have to fire people, sometimes people quit because they don't like that environment, and that's okay. There's somebody out there that will do that. And then getting that buy in again, well, it doesn't sound like employee of the month would be something for you quite yet, because it's just you and those two, and the one is a problem. Um, so maybe set a day once a month where you take them to lunch and you guys just sit around and talk. Having uh, maybe a meeting where each person has to say one bad thing that happened to them and one good thing that happened to them within a week or whatever. However you want to structure that, a week, a month, whatever. Um, that might help them feel more validated as a person rather than just an employee, and maybe that'll help get that buy-in going. And you're wanting to grow and add more people, so I'll go back to my suggestion of having, well, I would encourage it from the one good barber. I wouldn't bother with the bad barber, but tell them, hey, if you see somebody that you think is really good, that you would want to work with and you think would be a great addition here, if I hire them and they make it through their probation period, I'll give you $500 cash. Like, those are the types of things that you can kind of play around with and see if that helps. Hopefully that helps. Okay, next question is from Darby Scott. When you have a fleet of vehicles, should you aim to keep all vehicles out in the field every day or keep one as backup in case maintenance is required? We have a fleet of mobile pet grooming vans. There are 3 out of 5 days in which all of our vans are on the road, and we are considering having all vans on the road all 6 days. We are closed on Sundays, which is basic maintenance day for small things like oil changes and quick repairs by our in-house mechanic. Bigger mechanical fixes require taking vans to the shop, which are always closed on Sundays. My concern is if we never have a van off the road and something comes up that requires a week or more of repairs, which actually happens every quarter to at least 3 of our vans, we will have to pull employees from their regular schedules, which affects their pay and recurring client schedules. The domino effect would be that clients become upset because rescheduling is difficult with full schedules, and then we may lose clients as well as employees who have had their schedules cut. I also understand that vehicles not being used is a vehicle not bringing in money, but the former seems to be more harmful and more of a loss than the latter, in my opinion. I would love advice on this. So I have a fleet of vehicles, and I have service technicians, and that is often a thing that comes up between my husband and I, because my husband thinks that every single vehicle needs to be on the road making money at all times. and I get that. However, we do have a vehicle here that is just sitting here. It's an older vehicle. It's not as stocked as our other vehicles are, but it is here in the event of an emergency. Somebody can take that vehicle and use it in place of the better vehicles that are in the shop or whatever. Um, so I do recommend having a spare vehicle that's not costing a lot of money, but that is its purpose. Its purpose is to fill in those gaps, and it doesn't have to be, a brand new state of the art, all equipment, all that. It's just for filling in those gaps and keeping your customers happy. To me, that is worth the cost of having it sit in the parking lot. Plus, it's advertisement. You know, having it sit out there is just it is more advertisement. So you might be surprised that a vehicle sitting idle um, can actually create more revenue by being that advertisement and filling in those gaps and keeping your customers happy. So hopefully that helps. It's what I do and it's what I recommend. Okay. Robin Turpin. Hi, Robin. Would you agree that being in great physical shape makes a big difference for business success? Thank you so much. Her background is art for calm. She is an artist. As an artist, I help people feel moments of calm through my oil paintings of sunsets. And I always love your sunsets. They're so pretty. Your paintings are awesome. Yeah, there's a simple answer to that question. Being in great physical shape is good for everybody in success in everything. Um, am I in great physical shape? No, I'm not. I tend to put that on the back burner, while I'm taking care of other stuff. And that's a mental challenge that I am trying to overcome. However, I have lost 10 pounds, so I'm going to cheer for myself. Yay! Okay, so yes, I would agree that being in great physical shape makes a big difference for business success. Not that somebody who's not in great shape cannot be a success, but being in great shape, it reduces the number of distractions you have. It reduces the number of doctor's appointments you need to go to. It reduces the number of days you have to take off. Being in great shape is just overall great for everything, for your mentality, for everything. So yes, I do. It is important. I don't want to be a hypocrite because I do not do this right now. I it's on my goals. But setting aside time every day, even if it's just a 20-minute walk or something, is great. It's great for your mental health. It relieves stress. It does there's a lot of valuable factors in that. So yes, I do think it does help. And that is my answer. And that is, hi, Robin. Oh, you're welcome, Robin. And on the 75 hard, which I think you either completed or you're still doing, yeah, I could not. I could not do that at that time. However, I am doing stuff. I didn't just completely give up on it. But I'm working towards being able to try to do that program, and so it is on my list. It's there. It takes me a little bit of time to like get on board and wrap my brain around it, but with the team that I've built, I am so happy with them that I'm definitely thinking that 2022 is going to be a great year and that I can put more focus on doing that. So anyway, I hope you're doing well with it, and that is great. There's a book. It's a whole program. I forget the guy's name, Andy Frischella. 75 hard. It's more of a mental challenge than anything else, and then you benefit from the health stuff. Hi, Holly. Okay, so that is all of my questions. I don't see any questions here. Hey, Sean, I see you there. Nobody's asking questions. I can't see half of my stuff. Oh, thanks, Robin. Um, okay, so I am going to get off of here. It's been an hour and 10 minutes of me rambling to you. Hopefully, it's helped. You can pick out some little gold nuggets if there's any in there. And I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas. Keep doing your Flex Fridays. They are so important. They are important for us to get to know you, for you to get to know us because of our responses. And it's just really great for building that support system because we're all here for the support of other business owners. So keep doing those Flex Fridays. We love reading them. And we'll see you soon. Have a great day and Merry Christmas.